up to another day of Tesla Shorts Time Daily, episode 467, coming to you from Vancouver. It's May 9th, 2026. Let's get into what's moving in the Tesla world today. Tesla Vision now deploys airbags up to 70 milliseconds earlier in unavoidable collisions. Tesla's camera-based system can now trigger airbag deployment when it detects that a collision cannot be avoided. This earlier activation gives the restraint systems additional time to position properly before the actual impact occurs. The approach relies on visual recognition of crash geometry rather than waiting solely for physical contact sensors to register deceleration. By acting on what the cameras see in the moments leading up to contact, the vehicle gains a meaningful head start in occupant protection. The improvement shows how tightly integrated perception software and hardware can change the timing of safety responses that were once considered fixed. From a technology standpoint, this moves critical safety decisions earlier in the sequence and reduces the window during which occupant movement can peak. It also reinforces that the same vision stack used for driving assistance is now extending its reach into crash mitigation. This capability rests on the assumption that cameras alone can deliver reliable pre-impact data at the speeds and distances that matter most. Traditional systems have long depended on radar or contact sensors to confirm an event before deploying restraints. Tesla's method instead interprets the visual scene to predict impact geometry and initiates deployment ahead of physical confirmation. Filings indicate this visual trigger can occur up to 70 milliseconds sooner than conventional thresholds. That interval directly affects how much crash energy the restraint system can manage before the occupant begins to move forward. The shift challenges the industry practice of layering multiple sensor types for redundancy in pre-crash functions. It highlights Tesla's choice to invest in software that extracts more performance from existing camera hardware across the fleet. Vertical integration of perception code with vehicle structure appears to be the practical route for scaling this timing advantage. Turning to a production issue that needs attention, Tesla has recalled certain Cybertrucks because of a manufacturing flaw that could allow wheels to detach while driving. The recall targets an assembly problem that compromises wheel security under normal operating conditions. Owners of the affected vehicles are receiving notices to bring them in for inspection and corrective work. Production of the model continues to increase even as these early units receive the necessary fixes. The timing matters because the Cybertruck is still establishing its track record for everyday reliability with buyers. Prompt resolution of the assembly concern will help limit any lasting effect on confidence in the new vehicle. One aspect worth noting is that this recall arrives during the ramp-up phase when manufacturing processes are still being refined at scale. Addressing the wheel detachment risk quickly protects both safety margins and the perception of quality that new models need to build. Regulatory filings show Tesla is now ramping its own NMCA 4,680 cells at the Nevada facility specifically for the Semi. This replaces earlier cells supplied by LG and links cell production more directly to truck assembly operations. The change advances the company's vertical integration strategy for the heavy-duty program. Tying cell output to the same site where trucks are built reduces external dependencies and supports higher volume targets. Progress here matters for the Semi because battery supply has been a pacing item in the past. In-house production at this scale gives Tesla more control over chemistry choices and cost structures for the commercial truck line. Tesla is also exploring a system that pulls hot air from the cabin to ease the load on the air conditioning. The idea appears in recent patent filings and aims to maintain battery range in hot conditions without reducing passenger comfort. By extracting heated air before it forces the climate control to work harder, the approach targets a practical efficiency gain. Details remain conceptual at this stage, but the focus on thermal management shows continued attention to real-world range preservation. Shanghai factory output and deliveries rose compared with the same month last year, yet came in below March levels. The month-to-month dip aligns with normal seasonal patterns and production scheduling at the plant. Local demand in China, along with export allocations, continue to shape the monthly figures. The year-over-year increase still points to steady utilization, even as the factory adjusts to shifting market conditions. The Model Y became the first vehicle to complete NHTSA's Revised Safety Evaluation Protocol, FAST. The results reflect both the structural design and the performance of sensor systems under the updated criteria. Other manufacturers will now face the same revised standard when their vehicles are tested. This milestone underscores how integrated hardware and software contribute to meeting stricter safety benchmarks. Discussions in the owner community have noted Tesla's overall safety positioning and the way structural and perception features work together. Observers continue to point out that these elements differentiate the vehicles in real-world outcomes. The consistent emphasis on high safety standards through combined hardware and software resonates with many following the updates. BYD has indicated it may pursue legal steps after Tesla and other EV makers rejected rumors of coordinated talks with regulators on battery locking practices. The companies involved have distanced themselves from the reported discussions. The disagreement centers on competitive practices in the Chinese market. Transaction data show used Tesla and other EV values rising alongside higher gasoline prices after developments in the Iran conflict. The upward movement in secondary market prices appears across multiple brands as fuel costs increase. Higher gas prices seem to be shifting some buyer interest toward electric options, even in the used segment. Tesla added a max mode to the audio system that creates a more immersive listening experience inside the vehicle. The feature uses the existing speaker layout to produce a concert-like environment during drives. It is presented as a simple enhancement for passengers using the car's entertainment options. Tesla drivers can now access compatible charging stations at some golf course driving ranges. The option is being shared in owner communities as a convenient way to combine range time with vehicle charging. Locations are being highlighted as practical additions for daily routines. Before we go, keep an eye on further updates from the Nevada cell production site as semi-assembly volumes increase. That's your Tesla news for today. TSLA closed at $428.35, up $19.28, 4.7%. If you found this useful, a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify really helps new listeners find the show. You can also find us on X at Tesla Shorts Time. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.